kind of close. He's gonna cut the audio, but he's gonna go in right now. Didn't mess.
And we are live here on 26 Sports. This is episode 19. I'm on with Thalia, the Tiger, Tamayo, four-time champion, beautiful brawlers champion, as it was known to me, and also her trainer, Marquitos Padilla. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing great.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So Talia, let's get into it, man. I mean, I'm a little surprised. Once I talked to your mom, we set everything up, and I started posting about you being on the show. I got a lot of people. I mean, you got a couple world champions that reached out to you and told you to keep grinding, keep working. So, how does that feel knowing that you have fighters like that you may have never known reaching out to you?
It feels good. Just people overall supporting me, just helping me out going through the track that I'm going through right now.
And
Boxing.
And how did you get started doing boxing? A lot of, not to sound wrong, but a lot of little girls don't really go towards boxing. I actually love when I see women fight. I have a little girl, so I love it. What got you started in it?
My uncle used to train with Marcos, and I'd watch him train and spar. So one day I just told my mom I just wanted to start boxing, and I started focusing on it just as fun, and then it got a little more serious, going into competitions.
And which competition so far has been the most fun for you?
Silver gloves.
Silver gloves? And which fight have you had so far that you feel that you just remember all the time, or you look back to?
My first fight, it was far out, but I ended up winning that fight, and I just remember it as the beginning of everything.
That's good. And Marcos, question for your trainer here, Marcos. So you've been training her since she started. Seeing as she's grown from I believe it was 4 or 5 years old to now that she's 12, winning tournaments, and I mean she looks pretty damn good when I see the videos that I've seen. I seen the one of her training in the midst with you, and it was real quick, the combos. How does it feel seeing someone grow like that, knowing that you've helped groom her to that point?
Well, it feels great, knowing that you create something as little and they grow with you over the years and they start accomplishing things, and it's a great feeling to see that all the hard work pays off and keep on doing it. It's a journey that you go through with these kids, and when they accomplish and win titles, it's like a drug. It feels good to see them win those competitions.
And now, the first time you seen her fight in the real competition, were you nervous at all? Oh, whoops. All right, guys. It looks like we had an issue. Someone probably called. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Can't hear you. We can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear. We can't hear you. Can't hear you. The audio cut. The audio cut. We'll be right back, guys. Log out and click back into it, and it'll pop up. Sorry, guys. Looks like a phone call or something came in, so we lost connection. We'll be right back on.
We're on.
There we go. There we go.
You back on?
Yep. Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll ask the question again. Were you nervous the first time you seen her in actual competition? So were you nervous the first time you seen her in actual competition? Cut off again. 1 second, guys. And we're back, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, but we're back on. Okay,
You gotta keep. What would happen?
okay, and okay, so we'll get back into it. So, Talia, when you watch fights, or have you watched any older fights from older fighters, or do you only watch the current fighters now?
I watched a couple of pro fighters, old and young too.
Who is your favorite fighters to watch now, or that you may have seen from older times?
Um, I'd say a lot of fights that I watched mainly are younger, like with fight tournaments. The and my teammates watching their fights is cool. It's nice to watch, but knowing that you know that person, you're friends with that person, and you help each other get to where you guys are at.
That's good. That's good. I like to hear that answer. Is there any fighter professionally that you watch that you may try to take things from their style to put into your style?
Mm, honestly, I do not know.
That's fine. Out of the fighters that you've met so far, was there any one of them where you were kind of like starstruck, or was it just another day for you?
uh, I've met Layla Ali at one of my fights, and it was a little. I got stuck and nervous overall because she was someone that I looked up to when I was younger.
That's a good one to have. Her dad is one of the reasons why I got into boxing was because of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I looked up to the both of them.
Yep, that's a
They
good
were
one.
inspirations for me.
That's a good one. Now, question again to Marquitos. As I said, we asked the question about if you get nervous, but now, when you watch her fight now, every tournament and every fight, and you see her progress more and more, what do you see, in the future for her?
Oh, I just see that. Just keep on doing it and keep on grinding. This is a marathon, not a race, and as long as she keeps on focus and keep on doing the boxing thing, then she'll go far. A lot of these people and kids, they'll do it for a long time and then they fall off.
Yeah,
This thing is a marathon. You got to keep
yeah,
on doing it, and some people get frustrated, but it just you got to keep on going. It's like anything. You got to invest, invest, invest.
yeah. And is there anything that she's done or that you've seen from her, over the last few years that has surprised you or impressed you?
Oh man, actually when we fought we fought, what was it, in Compton? Yeah, we fought in Compton for the state silver gloves to go to the nationals. She fought on that show, and then that fight really was really she impressed me a lot in that fight because she was slipping and dodging the punches and countering, and she did a lot of things really good in that fight, and that was one of the fights I was very impressed over when she fought in Compton for the state title,
Okay.
and she
And
won.
and obviously now with this pandemic and everything going on, how has that affected not just training with her but just you as a whole?
Well, we still have to find a way to train because I know that the whole thing about the gyms are closed or whatnot, but you got to do what you got to do to
Yeah,
to to get these kids in shape, and
yeah,
because it's gonna open up pretty soon. When it
yeah,
does, we're gonna find out who's been busy and who's been not. So
yeah. And and that's something that I've told so many pro fighters is this is where we're gonna find out who's a real fighter and who's doing this as a hobby. And
yeah.
from people that I've heard, there's a couple pro fighters that fight in the 130 area that have blown
Mhm.
up to 175 pounds.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what a lot of, and that's pros. Just imagine kids; they're gonna do the same thing too.
exactly.
They're gonna jump up weight divisions, and the kids have been working hard. Obviously they're gonna be still nice and lean and
Yeah,
dedicated and sharp.
exactly. And it's understandable for a kid to have that. When you're
Yeah.
not going, but with the
Yes.
professional, that's a different
Oh
story.
well, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. That's
but
true. That's true.
yeah, but that's good. I mean, you guys are keep working. So as you said, once it pops back up, she's gonna be ready. She's not gonna have a fall off or anything, and that's a good thing.
Oh no, no, she's ready to go. She's ready to rock and roll.
That's
We're
good.
just we're excited to get back in, roll things so we can start winning more titles.
Yep. So real quick, I want to give shout outs to people here that are supporting. One Crazy Familia. Uh, thank
Oh
you,
yeah.
for watching in. They're saying what's up. Jasmine Padilla saying hi.
Hi.
Esmeralda Ferraro, what's up? Knockouts with Nika, that's one of my good friends. She's actually a really good, uh, she has her YouTube channel. She's really good with boxing. What's up? And thank you guys for watching and for supporting. They're giving shouts out to Marcos, to Thalia, and to me. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. If you guys
Eh,
have any questions for her, let me know. And, so where's your gym at right now, Marcos?
well, I right now I'm in. Well, I work in two places right now. I'm at Dethrone. It's an MMA gym, but I just do boxing. I do the
Yeah.
boxing. That's where I started my boxing coaching career. But I have I have a gym in Winton too as well, and that's by Merced. And
Yeah.
that's a gym that I have out there in Merced because I have kids from Cholac um, and Madeira, and so it's kind of easy for the kids to
Yeah.
travel, to the gyms. But so I work out at two gyms.
That's cool. And being at the throne, as you said, with MMA, how many MMA fighters have you helped train in their boxing style?
Oh man, so many. I remember I helped Cain Velasquez when he fought Dos Santos. I helped him because the manager, he's from out of Fresno.
Yeah, yeah,
The manager that managed Dwayne Zinkins, and he managed all those fighters,
yeah,
and out of them, they're affiliated with Dethrone. So when I was doing the boxing here, I got to work with Cain Velasquez. I worked with Josh Koscheck as well, and I work with Ed Ruth. He's a three-time national from Penn State,
mhm,
from wrestling, and
yeah.
so I worked with a lot of MMA fighters.
So then you're the reason Josh Koscheck became a knockout hitter, then, right?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I got him kind of towards the end of his career.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of he was already who he was.
Yeah.
I got to work with him just a little bit, not too much, but I got him pretty much at the end of his career. I
Okay.
didn't really get to work with him as much like I would have, should have.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember when he
Yeah.
first came out, he was really
Oh
strictly
yeah, he was laying
wrestling.
people out. Yeah,
Yeah, but
I think
then
that's when the UFC. That's when it really started coming out. A lot of people, their technique was just
yeah, well, because
throwing that out there. Yeah.
once he started throwing that right hand, it was like, okay, where was this at the whole time? But no, yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly.
And Kane, I also believe he has family out here in Fresno, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. He got some couple, peoples out here in the
Yeah,
Fresno area.
yeah. I ran
Yeah,
into
good
him.
guy, man.
Yeah, I ran into him at the liquor store one time before he did a meet and greet out here. It was pretty cool. Talked to him for like a
Was he buying beer?
no. I think he was just getting like something to drink. But I ran into him with my nephews, and then we drove down there, and he was like, "Oh, hey, how you guys doing here? Come on in." And I was like, "Oh, okay." We just bypassed the
Yeah,
line.
he's
He's
a cool
like,
guy, man.
"Yeah,
He's really
he's a good
humble
dude."
guy.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, he's good people. But that's cool, man. You have both styles that you watch and that you're able to work with. So, Talia, let me ask Talia a question here. What's your most fun workout for boxing that you like to do?
That's a good one.
Uh, Overall, I say when all of us were doing suicides, we ended up running and racing each other back and forth. Some of us would trip, some would end up laughing at each other, and overall just being competitive.
Okay.
They do the suicide drills, and then they be tripping each other.
Oh, okay.
So they won't. So they can't beat so they could beat each other.
That's funny because that's running, and most of the fighters that I talk to, running is the one that they don't like. So, which is the workout that you don't like,
Um,
or what's your
Overall,
least favorite workout?
I'm gonna have to wake up really, really early to do drills,
Okay.
drills, and early because I stay up really, really late. So
You're a sleeper.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
so I usually don't wake up too early.
Okay.
So I have to wake up early. So
So you don't like waking up early. Okay. So I got a question here for you, Talia, from One Crazy Familia. They want to know at what age did you start boxing?
I started at 3.5.
So you were starting before you could even run full speed.
Yeah, before I even went to school.
That's good. That's
She,
good.
she, she was wearing pull-ups.
The onesie with boxing gloves on, huh?
Pull ups. Trying to act tough.
Now, Talia, for you, the question about everything that we're going to. You're obviously old enough to understand the virus and everything. How has that affected you with boxing and then just with school overall as well?
With boxing, overall, just I feel like it's harder to do everything. When you're at home, you don't get in that groove that you would in the gym. In the gym, you get that groove. You get competitive. You feel that intensity when you're in the gym, but when you're at home, it's a little harder.
And now with school, because I was able to see one of the videos you have where you were actually doing homework when you received the gift, and you kind of were like, okay, well, let me get back to school. So with school, how has that affected you?
I missed a lot of things from school, trips and assignments. I missed a big test at the end of the year because of everything that happened. And I was supposed to go to middle school this year, but I'm gonna end up doing it online.
Yeah.
So it's a little it's a bummer, but I gotta stick through it though.
Well, just one thing that we always have to know is that we're always going to get through it. We're going to push through it because we always do. It's just another roadblock right now. The good thing for you is you're younger, and 4 or 5 years from now, maybe when you're fighting in the Olympics, you'll be able to say
Yeah.
you went through this. Now, have you ever watched any of the Olympic fights on TV or after years?
Um, I have a cousin from Sacramento. She was supposed to go, and I watched her
Tryouts.
in the trials.
The Olympic trials.
Her name's Lupe Gutierrez.
Hmm.
She was from Sacramento, and, and she was supposed to go, but because of everything, it got canceled.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I know a few people that were going to actually head out there this year as well, but this happened. Now, is that one of your long term goals? Is to go to the Olympics? Hopefully, at some point.
Yeah, when I was little, that was my main goal. I wanted to achieve it for the longest.
Okay. And Marcos, when you hear that, knowing that that's one of her goals, how are you going to help push her to get her to that point to not just represent her family, you, but the country as a whole? Because at the end of the day, she will be representing the country in the Olympics.
Oh, just keep on doing what we're doing. Just keep on grinding, keep on working hard, and support her too. As a coach, as a coach, we have to put a lot of work into it too. We have to sacrifice ourselves. A lot of people want to be coaches, but they don't want to put in the work
Yeah.
and sacrifice as well. Because as much as fighters sacrifice, coaches does too as well. To go to all the tournaments and take time off because they're week tournaments. You have to go out there, and let go of the work and find yourself so you could be with them in the tournament. So, a coach has to go through a lot of things too as well for them to reach their goals.
Yep. And question for you about just overall as you're coaching, what has been the one moment or moments where you either entered an arena or a tournament that like really took your breath away or just left you astounded, like just in awe of the moment?
Arena, well, I did a lot of amateurs, but the big one I did was I did Staples Centers. I guess Ronda Rousey fought. She was the main event, and I was in Josh's corner, and we walked out, and I seen all the fans out there. And it was just amazing, like the way. It was the first time I've been in a UFC, Josh's corner.
Yeah.
And when we came out, it was just there was a lot of celebrities there. It was wild, So that was pretty shocking. The weigh-ins was like a concert,
Yeah.
just the weigh-ins.
It's like
So that was pretty amazing.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
20,000 people in the arena, and then I think for the weigh-ins they could hold, depending on where it's at least half, maybe more,
yeah, and
for the
it was
weigh-in.
in LA, so
Yeah.
you just imagine how many people was out there, and how many celebrities were out
Oh
there.
yeah, especially for a Ronda
So,
Rousey fight.
oh yeah, it was,
Yeah,
and that's when she was on top of her game.
yeah. Before
Yeah,
she met actual boxers, boxers.
yeah, boxing. That's
Yeah,
before she met them. Yeah,
yeah.
I think I forgot who she fought, but she stopped the girl, and I think she got in an armbar. in the first round.
Okay,
She stopped her. Yeah, so
yeah,
it was a pretty good experience
that's
there.
cool. Yeah, and then now you've more than likely you've been to boxing events, right? How would you say that
Uh,
compared?
oh yeah, the boxing is different. You know, my love is boxing, and yeah, man, you can't compare it. You know,
Yeah.
the boxing. You know, it's, now I need to be, coaching one of my kids. You know,
Oh,
the ones I brought up, and so they could fight for a world title. So, obviously, that's the ultimate. You know, I graduated.
yeah.
If I get to that spot, you know.
So knowing
Yeah.
that you're going to bring along these fighters to possibly, the Olympics and beyond, what's the mindset for you? Obviously, as you said, the sacrifices that you're going to make, the time that you're going to do. What's the mindset for you in that sense going forward?
The mindset, like, what's my goal?
Yeah,
How to get to that point? You
yeah.
mean?
Like how
Well,
you going
just
to
like
keep
like
focused through a lot of stuff
how
that you're
much?
going to do, as you said.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on, training these kids, and like I said, I don't like to train a whole lot of people. Like in my gym, I know a lot of gyms they want to have like 1,000 kids in one gym, and that's the thing with me. I don't want to have too much kids in my gym. I try to limit it to 15 kids so I could have time for each kid.
Hmm.
Because if I have 1,000 kids, I'm not gonna have time for each one of them.
Yeah,
So I really stay focused with limited kids, so I can really. My goal is quality, not quantity.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
want all my kids and all. I want my repetition. When they see Marquitos Boxing and I bring a kid up in the ring, they know that I'm gonna bring somebody good. So
yeah.
that's very important to me. Is the quality of my kids and the training that I do means a lot to me. It means everything to me. You
That's
know.
perfect. That's perfect. And and what you're saying is 100% true because I've seen pro fighters leave gyms because there was one trainer for 100 pro fighters, and the pro fighter will say, "Man, I barely got any time from them." So
Yeah, you
that's
see,
perfect. It's hard to do
yeah,
it too.
that's why. Yeah, so I try to keep it limited with a little bit of kids, so I can put my time to each kid, and that's it's been working. I've been doing this for a long time, so I already know how the gyms are, and I've learned over the years what to take and what not to take in, and I've noticed that that's not a good thing to have a lot of kids. And I mean, it depends what you want. Do you want a business, or or do you want quality?
Yeah.
And I want quality,
It
more than anything.
yeah, and it brings a unity like a family atmosphere when you have less kids, but they're all going to be in there together. So that's good. That's
Yep,
perfect for the kids.
hard working kids.
Yeah. So let me go back to
Yeah.
Talia.
Oh,
Talia, you're
yeah.
getting a lot of love on here. I mean, I'm seeing here Marina Johnson saying that she loves the Marquitos' story and yours. Diamond Williams saying that you're amazing and she's proud of you. You got a lot of people on here and saying that you're always focused as well. So that's a good thing to hear. Out of all the tournaments that you've had so far, in every city or part that you've been in, which one is the one city that you love fighting more than others?
Uh, Pacifica.
Pacifica?
They have, yeah. There's one fight over there that I love to go to. It's a beautiful brawlers fight. It's overall just all girls fight, and you get to meet other people that just overall girl fighters, and they go through what you go through with overall fights.
That's good. And you were supposed to go to nationals this year, obviously, before all this happened. Have you heard anything about when it might be rescheduled or anything?
No, nothing so far.
Okay, that's that's not good. But hopefully it does come up soon because I know
Yeah,
everybody that's watching and everybody that's tweeted and mentioned you will love to see you fight. Now,
yeah.
have you seen? I mean, as I know, I reached out to Sulem Urbina, one of a good friends of mine, and she actually remembers taking a picture with you and talking with you. Have you seen any of her fights?
I've seen one of her fights before. It was quite a while ago, but overall I look up to her because she's pretty good, and she's also one of my motivations that I have for a girl fighter.
Yep. And she's a good one to look up to, and she should be returning back before the end of this year, from what I've been told. So it's a good one to look up to. Now,
Yeah.
any other girl fighters, women fighters that you have watched more consistently?
Um, One of my teammates, Sandra Tovar. Um, she's a motivation. She works through everything, even through this quarantine. She works really hard, and I respect her.
That's good. Now, I'm gonna ask you a personal question. Hopefully, your mom doesn't get crazy with this one. But has anybody, when you're in school, have they tried to test you yet?
A couple times, yeah. Um, just because they know that I box and they just
Oh, I'll cut off again. Hold on. Oh, guys, give us 1 second. We'll be right back. All right. Can you hear? No. I can't hear you. I can't hear you again. Can't hear you. They'll fix it right now. Give us 1 second, guys. No audio. So just have her do the thing again where she goes off and comes back on. Yeah.
Here it is.
can you hear it?
Are we
Yeah,
back
we're
on?
back on. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem.
They said it was a school district.
No, that's why I tell everybody when you're on live, these things happen, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
Cool. So again, so as I said, they've tested you, and how have you diffused the situation? Because I'm pretty sure you haven't beat them up. Because I remember when I used to train like that, we couldn't fight outside of the gym.
Yeah. I overall just try to ignore it. Just just try to ignore them because it gets a little irritating at point, but I just know how to stop it or just try to talk to them or something.
And knowing the fact that you could beat them up pretty easily if you really wanted to makes it a lot easier, huh?
Yeah.
Now, the fact that you could, as you said, ignore it and push it away, how much do you credit that to not just your coach, but to your mom as well?
Um, Overall, it helps with knowing how to box and just knowing how just to ignore it
No.
and
Defend
to
yourself.
defend myself and knowing how to deal with the problem and just to stop it.
That's good. That's a good answer. When you get older, we'll ask you that question when your mom's not around. And Marquitos, now this for Marcos. Now with you, as you say, you train a lot of kids. Knowing that there's always going to be some knucklehead, somebody out there that's going to try to test that kid because they know what they're doing. How do you put in their heads of these kids to just, as she said, she ignores it, knows how to walk away from it. How do you put that in their head and instill that?
You know what? It's funny that you said it because I remember Thalia when she was a little kid. I don't know if you remember. I was talking to Thalia's mom. One time, Thalia's mom came up to me. She goes, "I need you to talk to Thalia because she fought with some guy, and I need you to talk to her and tell her that she can't be doing that." And I'm like, "Oh my god! I never thought that that was my job,
Yeah.
to talk to him like that. That was when I was kind of like coaching her, and it kind of realized to me that these kids, they look up to me, what I say to them, and examples that I put to them. So that's kind of, it hit me right there and then. And, oh man, I need to talk to Thalia and kind of explain to her that you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
And so I talked to her and I told her, Thalia, it's not good to be fighting with what a normal adult should tell a kid,
Yeah.
that you do this, get paid or win trophies, that's gonna benefit you in the long run. You fighting in the streets and get you in jail and in trouble. You might hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it. Because nowadays you could hit somebody in the face and they fall wrong and they bump their head and
Yep.
they could be paralyzed.
Exactly. I mean,
So
just think
I
about
mean
it.
that's
In
yeah.
boxing, people have died from the way they fall onto the ground. So imagine now
Yep.
someone that doesn't know how to fight against a person that knows how to fight getting caught with one
Exactly.
punch. Yeah.
So that's what I tell the kids. I tell them, it's not worth it. I know that you could fight them and you could beat them up and like that, but one little hit could cost you your life. You
Exactly.
know, and not do what you love to do. It's not worth it at the end of the day.
Yep. And
Mm.
and the reason I asked that question to you is because I coach football when there is football allowed. Sama Bandits right here. Um,
Okay, I see
yeah,
that.
and 2 years
I see that
undefeated.
Raider. I see that Raider hat too.
Oh yeah, everything. Uh, 2 years undefeated. Last year was the Valley champ, going undefeated. Um, but I say that because I coach football. I've had girls on my team, and
Oh dang.
yeah, I had my niece, little monster. I mean, she was a little beast when she played, and I coached two other girls, and each one of them, when as you said, in the gym, they might, the boys might tell them something like, "Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
you can't do it," but then they get checked. Like that girl might catch them with something. It's like, okay,
Oh,
and that's what happened at practice. Is the boys were like, "Oh, you can't hit." Next thing you
oh
know,
no,
they're on the
Thalia,
ground.
she's not in that situation.
Yeah,
Thalia, she puts it down, man.
yeah,
She don't have that issue with her. She when
yeah,
she fights right here with the boys, I mean the boys they're on their p's and q's because Thalia she brings it, so
yeah.
they don't bully her. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's why I
She don't
say
have that problem.
because on the football team, the kid started out like that. Was like, "Oh, you're a girl, you can't do nothing." Next thing you know, it's yeah, real
Oh
quick.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
I asked that question because I had the same issue with these girls outside of football. It
Uh,
was they tell people, "Oh, I play football. Oh, you can't hit me," and they fight. It's like
oh
and,
yeah.
and it's hard because I only have them at
They do the
football.
water boy.
Yeah, yeah.
The water boy.
Yeah, so it's hard, but that's why I ask you the question of how you deal with it because with girls in sports, they get more hate. As we know, boys, guys in general like to pick on the girls until they get checked.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, at the gym they don't. I mean, maybe outside I could see
Yeah,
that, but I don't think she has that problem anymore. When she was little, she did, but
yeah,
I think she's grown out of it and she knows how to control it better. So,
yeah,
I just try to give her good advice. Be a good role model to her and let her know that's not the thing to do.
yeah, yeah. No, that's the thing. You just gotta tell them, hey, it's not worth it. At the end of the day,
So yeah, it's not worth it.
you can do it. That's all you need to know because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
trying to
So you
pick
can,
on you
there you
for a
go.
reason.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. So
Hey,
how many girls do you have in the gym?
right now I'm training what Thalia and I got Sandra Torbar.
Hmm.
She's from Tola, yeah, and I train her too as well. She's 18 years old. She's, I
Okay,
think she's ranked number one, number two in the nation.
that's good.
Two, I think two, yeah.
Okay, okay,
And I got them two right now.
okay.
It takes a special girl to come out here and get hit in the face.
Yeah. Hey, that's the same thing when those girls were like, "I want to play football." I'm like, "Okay." And after the first practice, I'm like, "Okay, you can do it. I believe you. Let's
Yeah,
go."
yeah. No,
So
yeah, yeah. It takes a special girl to get hit in the face to keep on coming, keep on
yeah.
coming. So, I mean, here
Now,
they are, and I'm training them.
so now, and I don't mean it to sound rude or anything to anybody, but what's the difference when you see, the girls that you train as opposed to the guys that you train?
What the difference in
Like
what
your
do you mean?
reactions? Do you feel maybe more? more nervous when you see the girls fight as opposed to the guys?
Oh no, it's the same. I see them all the same. I know they're girls and boys, but we're all
Exactly.
the girls are like one of the guys
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
We're
and
all
that's
we're
why I
all
say it.
one, you know.
Yeah, that's why I say it, because people would ask me the same thing when I coach. Are you scared about the girls? I'm like, I'm scared for those guys. Once these girls go full
Yeah,
speed, I'm scared for them. So yeah, that's why I
yeah,
ask it.
yeah. I see them the same. You know, we're all the same. We're all they're like one of the guys too. You know,
Yeah,
we just I don't see no difference. You know, treat them the same. We're all the same. I get on them the same, and yeah, I see it there. And yeah, I just I'm on them. Just I don't. There's no. I don't give them special treatments. You know, they're just like one of the guys. Same thing.
that's good.
No difference.
That's good. And now, with all the comments I'm getting here and everybody talking, as I tell people, the space that I have here, the platform that I have is not big, but I do it as well to support women in sports, to support
Oh
women
yeah,
in
for
anything they
sure.
do. As I said, I have a little girl. I have a big family, and more than half of them is probably women. So I always do that, knowing that people are gonna, respect you more, just for helping, put girls out there, women that are gonna accomplish something big. How does that feel for you, as a whole, just as a person, for you?
It feels good. I mean, Thalia, like she's actually she's one of my oldest person or of all my kids I've trained. I've trained for when she was 3. She's always gonna be
Yeah,
13.
yeah,
It's been there for almost turned 10 years, over 10 years. So it's great to see her accomplish what she wants, and I'm there I'm right there with them if they want to keep on going. I'm right there with them.
that's good. All right, Talia, let me give you a couple more questions. Now, you said that you look up to a lot to was her name Sandra or Sarah?
Sandra.
Sandra Tobar. You said when you see her fight, and obviously you probably have confidence that she's gonna win. Are you nervous for her as you're sitting there watching her fight?
For a lot of my teammates, I get a little nervous because I know that all of them got it in them. They're all pretty good fighters, and they work hard, and I respect them for what they do. But yeah, for a lot of their fights, I get a little nervous. But sometimes I feel the same how I do when I get nervous for my fights. I feel the same sometimes.
Okay. And now, as you said, when you're gonna fight, do you get any of those butterflies in your stomach, or do you feel kind of like,
All the
oh,
time.
if you don't know if you're gonna go in there?
All the time. I think it's something you can get used to, but I think sometimes you have it all the time.
When I used to
It's
do any
nervous.
sport that I did, I used to always feel like I was gonna throw up right before it. I used to have to sit down and take deep breaths and drink water and then go. And it didn't matter what sport: basketball, football, soccer, baseball. Even when I boxed a little bit, I was always.
It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that. I had a kid named his name was Nick Martinez, and I took him to go fight nationals, and he fought 4 times, and every time he fought, he threw up, and he won the nationals like that.
Yeah.
Every time before he got up in the ring, he'll throw up, and
I don't know why
and
that
he
would
and he
happen to
won-
me.
and yeah, and he won the nationals like
Yeah.
that.
And what's funny is one of the times when I was playing basketball, it's probably the best game I had was the one time I did throw up before the game. I had nothing in my system that game, just Gatorade and water, but it was probably the best game I ever played.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Sometimes being nervous is good.
that's what I always tell people. Nervous energy, depending on how you turn it when
You
you go
take it.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because you could be nervous and it could tire you out, but it depends on how you're gonna flip it when you get in that ring.
that's right.
So, Talia, what is your favorite punch to throw when you're in there?
Um, let's see, overhand.
Overhand right?
Yeah.
And Marcos, what do you think is her best punch?
Her best punch. What she does really good with that overhand. She slips her jab and she times it right and she throws that overhand right.
So it's like counter overhand.
Yes, there you go. The girl's throwing a jab and she slips inside and then she throws the overhand right.
That's
She
that
does that pretty
moneymaker
good.
punch.
Yeah, that's that.
That's the
She times it
moneymaker.
really good.
That's Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao right there. So that's a legendary punch if
Yeah,
you catch it.
Yeah, it's good time. She does good timing. She has good timing when she
That's
does that.
good.
So that's I think that's one of her good punches right there.
Well, that's part of the coaching as well that she gets, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, hey, I
now,
have a question. Who you think is gonna win, Loma or Lopez?
that's a hard one because
Got him.
I've actually talked to both of them.
Mm.
I've met them before. Lopez is a big dude, man. If you see him in person, he's a lot bigger than what he looks like. The time I seen him, he was probably walking around maybe 155.
Yeah,
Loma is a small 135. He probably walks around at 140. Um, honestly, it's
it's
gonna
like Floyd.
yeah, it's gonna
Floyd's a
depend
little
on.
guy.
But Floyd had that impeccable everything,
Yeah, for sure. Floyd's
timing,
just yeah,
defense,
one of a kind.
counter punching.
Yeah,
But so is Loma. I mean, how many fighters can say in my second pro fight I fought for a world title?
yeah,
So,
that's true. So
um,
who's your money on?
if I had to do it right now, I would say Tio,
Damn. Okay.
just because I've seen Loma get hurt by a smaller person, Jorge Linares, who probably
Hmm.
is 135 natural, and Loma being so much bigger than he is, I just don't know that Loma's going to be able to escape so many punches from Tio. At some point, he's going to get caught.
I'm excited for that fight.
Oh, I love it. And
I think
from
I think
what,
I think I'm leaning with Loma, but I mean you got a good point, man. I mean it's not gonna be shocking whoever wins,
yeah,
obviously, but I think I'm leaning a little bit more for Loma. I think he just has more, tricks in his
yeah,
bags, but skills pay the bills. I think.
yeah. Loma's the favorite, and for reason, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Tio Fimo.
Oh, for sure, I wouldn't be
That's the way I
surprised
see it.
either.
Loma's the
Yeah,
favorite without a doubt, but if Tio wins, it's not a surprise to me.
that's true. That's true. How about Tank? I mean, I know we're going off topic, but I just want to see your, Tank and
It
what was it?
depends. It depends on what tank shows up. Um, as I said,
You think he's gonna make weight though?
that's the big question. Um, he's 135 is more closer to it's 130, right? That's the
Yeah, yeah.
problem.
It's 130.
He's he has issues with weight, but he's already in camp and he's been in camp for about 3 weeks, and he is training with Floyd. So Mayweather doesn't play no games. He's gonna make sure you show up in shape for his fight because that's his money right there. You don't mess with Mayweather's money.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, those
uh,
are two exciting fights. I'm looking forward to
uh,
watching. So
at 130, it's closer. I still favor Tank, but at 130, it's a closer fight for me. I just don't know if Santa Cruz has the power to keep Tank off of him. He has got the volume, but he may not have the power.
that's a good one, man.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward for those fights.
yeah, that's a good one.
I'm sorry for going off topic. I just want to get your input on that.
Oh, no problem, man. If anything, the fight I'm looking more forward to is probably Charlo and Derevchenko.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, I
That's a
favor
good one too,
Charlo, but
man.
that one's my favorite because we finally get to see Charlo with someone top four
Top
legit.
competitive, yeah,
Yeah, so I love that fight.
sure for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple last questions, Thalia. So, with everything going on, as Marco said, you guys are training to keep you ready. If they were to call you and say, "Hey, there's a tournament next week," how ready do you think you are in your mind?
Let's go.
I'd be a little excited because I've kind of been waiting for a fight, but
So you ready?
I haven't punched someone in a couple months, so I think it might be a little hard. But I think I can get it.
Okay. Okay. And with that question there, looks like you made people laugh on that one. With that question, um, okay, here's the last question I'm gonna give you. Someone just asked, "Are you able to hear your mom at all your fights?"
Yeah. She always asks me that after my fights.
Saying something, huh? I hear screaming.
Secret language only me and her can understand.
Okay. Okay.
But I do hear her. She asks me at all my fights at the end if I can hear her. But yeah, I can hear her
But
loud and clear.
what's funny is you say that I've heard from so many professional athletes that no matter where they're at, how many people are there, and Marquitos, you could probably go with this too. They'll always hear their parents over everybody else in the arena.
You know the voice already.
The
Yeah,
voice.
yeah.
Recognize it.
Now,
You know
Marquitos,
when they're
when
mad at you.
when you're training and you hear her mom, do you like just laugh in your head there, hearing the screaming?
I think in training, I had one. I actually had one parent one time. Every time her kid would spar, she would be yelling so loud that she'd be scaring the kids. And I had to kind of tell her, you know what? I go, this is sparring. I mean, nobody's gonna, need to relax with that because you're scaring the kids. So, but Thalia's mom, she's pretty cool with that. Sparring. Everybody's kind of they've been doing this for a long time, so they know how to control themselves. Usually the new parents are the ones that get
Yeah.
all crazy and yelling and screaming, and I'm like, man, that's when I have to take them to the side and kind of have a talk with them.
Okay, so Marina Johnson said her mom is the other coach.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And Flora Mares is saying that they're very proud of you, very proud of your the granddaughter Thalia. And they said Grandpa is your number one fan.
Yeah, grandpa.
Okay,
Thank you.
so coming up to the end of the show, Thalia, anybody you want to, say hi to or just anything you want to say before we head out?
My family in Sacramento, my teammates, and family overall.
Okay. And Marquitos, to you, same question. Anybody you want to say hi to or what's up to?
No, I just to the whole team, Marquitos Boxing team. We're still working hard. I want to tell everybody out there that we're ready. So when this is over, we're coming.
Okay. And guys, I want to say again, shout out to, uh, sorry, uh, uniquely yours right here, 26 Sports banner, Notorious Graphics for the t-shirts, Dirt Magnets janitorial, 559-374-7112 for your cleaning needs, home, business, or office. This has been episode 19. This has been a very special episode right here with Thalia, the Tiger Tamayo. She's going to be a future star, guys. So if you guys are watching now, don't forget to be watching her in the years to come as she, goes on to win the gold medal, goes on to win a women's championship with Marquitos right there on the side, cheering her on. And as he said, being able to live that dream of seeing his fighters go on to win these events. So I want to thank both of you guys for taking time out of your day coming on today, and everybody that tuned in. I appreciate you guys for reaching out, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and you guys have a great week as well. Everybody else, Friday I'll be back on with Rancis Bartholomew Friday evening. Episode will more than likely be in Spanish. But we'll be here on Friday. So everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a great evening, and we'll catch you guys later.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
No problem. Thank you guys.